Welcome into a brand new episode of WSI TV. Enjoy the show.
Welcome into a brand new episode of WSI TV. I'm Sean Bauer. With me as always is Jordan Bishop. And today we're going to cut right to the chase. We're going to talk about the secret creating billionaires.
Yeah, right on your screen right now, we've got 5 billionaires who all used a special secret, a very specific secret that we're going to get into very soon. But just you might recognize some of those names up there. We talk about Jesse Livermore quite a bit, as well as George Soros, famous for going against the Bank of England and making $1 billion in a single day.
Yeah, I mean, all of these guys, I think sometimes adjusting for inflation, all became billionaires. And what we have here is just what they made using this one secret, and for the most part, just one instance. You can see $100 million made in one instance. I mean, Soros making $1 billion in a day, $15 billion just from placing one bet. I mean, this is the sort of thing, that creates fortunes. This is the secret we're giving to you. And it all has to do with what happens in a market crash.
Yeah, now obviously market crashes only come around every so often. We've been awaiting one for a little while right now. That's why this is a perfect time for us to talk about this. But first we want to talk about how, during 2008, as you might remember, there was this phrase going around about wealth being destroyed, about people losing money, about money disappearing. When in reality, money doesn't disappear. Of course, the value of a dollar inflates and deflates, but it never goes to zero. So there's this myth that this money was disappearing when actually it was just being transferred into other people's pockets.
Yeah, I mean, in 2008, we know, for the average American citizen, it felt like it was just disappearing. But like Jordan's saying, it is going somewhere. It is being transferred rather than destroyed. And with this secret, those 5 billionaires we just showed you, they were just standing underneath this tower of money just with their pockets open, trying to collect as much as they could. And obviously that's exactly what they did. And this is kind of the game of Jenga that we're talking about now.
Exactly. We like to look at the stock market as a game of Jenga because for years at a time, people are pulling their bricks out of this tower of Jenga, and the normal people, like us, like you guys, are putting your bricks back on top. That analogy would stand for pulling out one investment maybe and putting it in another. But obviously, as everyone's pulling these bricks out, this tower is getting weaker and weaker, and it starts to wobble. Now, the thing that happens during a market crash is when there isn't enough bricks for this pressure to stand on, and that's because the establishment, the fat cats, whatever you want to call them, are pulling their bricks out and putting them in their pockets as insurance for when the tower falls over.
Yeah, again, they're just playing by a different set of rules where they, like Jordan said, don't have to put their bricks back on top. They're just hanging on to them the whole time. That's what leads up to this sort of thing, like in 2008, whenever it's banks lending money when they really shouldn't have been, when we had this real estate bubble. They're playing by different rules than you have to play by, than we have to play by. But with one secret, you can basically get your revenge, for lack of a better term, and certainly your financial revenge, just standing underneath this tower of money. Imagine if this Jenga tower is just wads of cash instead of these wooden bricks. That's what is about to tip over. What we've been waiting on for something like 8 years now. And just a quick note on that. As we've seen over the course of history, this one bet has worked every single time when the market does crash to create fortunes. This is something that has created millionaires and billionaires like we're talking about. So it's nothing to scoff at.
And the thing I love about these 5 billionaires that use this simple trick is they were regular people like all of us. They weren't a part of the establishment, and the establishment leans on the banks during this crash, where these 5 billionaires went against the banks, and Jesse Livermore was threatened by the banks to stop what he was doing, to stop using this bet. George Soros was threatened by the Bank of England, but he went through with it anyway. So that really explains just how powerful this secret is. And again, this secret basically relies on what to do when the market crashes.
Yeah, and as it inevitably will, it's important to note that, a crash is going to happen. A downturn, a correction, I should say. And that's whenever all this money is falling over on this tower like we're talking about. And one thing we want to make sure is, if you have your money being run by a fund manager or something like that, they're going to tell you the same thing over and over. Buy and hold, invest for the long term, keep your money in while the market is even going straight down, which is something we warn you about all the time. So we want to give you these two options when the market does crash. The first being, you're allowed to pull your money out of the market. You're allowed to be in cash. Cash is a position rather than being invested in whatever it is, stocks or bonds or commodities. You can be in cash, and obviously if you're in cash when the market is crashing, you're coming out on top. You're beating the masses, which is what this game is all about. But there is also this one secret we keep talking about that creates billionaires, and it's gonna turn out fortunes by just making one bet. And again, it all happens. It's happened before. It all happens in these market crashes. Just one bet, Jordan.
This one bet we're talking about is short selling. Now, we talk about short selling quite a bit. We do our best to inform you how simple short selling is. This secret, it's not just the act of short selling, it's all about the timing. Now, we want to give you the timing, what to look for, when to short sell as the market's going down. And there's a few vital triggers we look for that let us know exactly when we need to use this secret.
Yeah, we basically looked over the course of history as it comes to the market and crashes. We've gotten this down to a science and our own system that basically, like Jordan was saying, alerts us, gives us the triggers when this is actually happening, when we should place that single bet, basically that short sell that we're talking about with the right timing and knowing exactly what to short sell.
And we'll soon give you the opportunity to get in on this system, but what you need to be looking for right now, you need to be watching for the S&P 500, and if it starts to head back down towards that 200 with a correction, you really want to note the second it goes under the 200-day moving average, the second it closes under the 200-day moving average, and then your two options there, as we've covered, you either want to go to cash or you want to use the secret of short selling.
Yeah, you just need to know that you are not at the mercy of the market. You have these options. You have cash. You have short selling where you can actually make a fortune on a market crash. So, I mean, that's one of the main points we need our investors to know. You're not at the mercy of the market. You don't have to stay in on stocks as they're heading straight down.
Thanks for watching the latest episode of WSI TV. Be sure to visit WSITV.com where you can subscribe for free with no contract and gain instant access to the secrets of self-made millionaires via the WSI TV Vault. So go ahead and claim this gift for free now at WSITV.com.